Hello, and once again, we are live, the Modern Mystery School UK EU podcast and YouTube channel. And today we are joined again by Grace. Hello, Grace. How are you?
Hello. Hi, everyone. Hello, Divina Kate.
Oh, it's nice to have you back on the show. I always love our chat. So I was very glad to hear that you would be sharing a little bit about your RM experience with us. And so let's just get stuck in, shall we?
Let
Now, obviously, people will know from your previous interviews. You're legally you're in the legal industry. You're a lawyer. You have this background, being an animal lover. Why would you want to become a ritual master?
To be honest, I don't actually know. I just saw it and I felt this is the thing for me. I want to do it. And also, I had benefited so much from the previous classes, Healers Academy, and of course, my initiation in Empower Thyself. Those things have benefited me so much. So why wouldn't I want to do something else that, is the next step? Why not? So that was kind of my thinking, and I don't regret it for a second. It's really, I've always been quite an organized person, but I would have thought of myself as a prepared person, very organized. But actually, when I embarked on the path of the ritual master, I realized that I actually wasn't. I could be more prepared. I could be more organized. I could be, I could think about things more. And having that training and now doing that has really helped me do other things. And it's also helped my family. So I would say that it explored that on a much deeper level. And that is where I can really see results. And people around me have noticed it.
That's really amazing. I love that point. Just to go back, I love all of those points, but just to go back, I agree. It's like if something is working and it's showing you the fruits in your life, why wouldn't you want more or to delve more into it? And I guess we would refer to that as progression
Yes.
in the lineage. But so many people kind of stop, and don't allow themselves to go on. So that's really interesting point that you bring up.
Don't get me wrong, there was resistance. I wanted to do it, but I did think, oh. But then I overcome it and I realized that the resistance came from the bits of myself that I had gotten a bit too comfortable with, but they weren't serving me. It wasn't helping me in my life because I was stagnating. So overcoming that and doing it then gave me greater fruit. And I say this now, and as I progress, I'm sure that there will be more resistance, but I'm aware of it and I will push through it because I know that at the other side, at the other end of the tunnel, there are greater fruit. So
Mm.
why not? We can always improve, we can always be better, we can always expand. And being on this path has really made me see that. But it's not always sunshine and rainbows. That comes after you've worked through your issues, but you have to because that's part of, as you say, progression, right, Davina Cage?
Yeah, it's such an interesting. Thank you for bringing that up because I think it's important that people don't, when we're on social media and we post things and people get the snapshot of your life as being wonderful and amazing. It doesn't just happen.
No.
It doesn't just,
Uh,
and I try to help people to understand it takes discipline, commitment, investment. These are the things. Just if you went to the gym, that you wouldn't expect just to have like, the
yeah,
gorgeous, you know,
ex-
body.
exactly. And even going to the gym, right? It's like going to the gym, that journey there is the hardest part. Once you're actually there and when you finish it, it's actually okay. It's pretty good. So it's the same thing on the path, right? It's like, oh, that resistance. But once you're actually there and then you're doing it, you see the fruit and then you feel great. So
Yeah.
that's like a continuous sort of cycle, that journey really, that path, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm so glad because again, I think so many people get to that point of, oh, this is really hard. It's not meant to be. I shouldn't do it, and then they stop. And that's the point at which where the magic is. And I'm like, oh my goodness, just keep going, just push through, you know, willing people just to push through, just as same as the gym, you know, you have to lift to failure, or, you know,
Yeah.
train muscles, you know, feel it and are going to grow. So yeah.
The more I, you know, walk the path, the more I realize that, and the RM path has helped me to really understand myself better. So I know that nuance between resistance and when something is not in my highest good. There is a
Mm,
difference, but you have to invest in yourself enough to know that difference. Because now I know clearly most of the time when I'm like, yeah, I'm just being lazy. I should do it. As opposed to, I don't think that's good for me. You know, exercising that judgment, and that
yeah,
the RM path has definitely helped me with that. And to be
that
stronger in me, you know?
yes, absolutely. That's the number one thing that I found is discernment.
Mm.
Along with the you know the on the ritual master path is that discernment in every area, and that's such a key point. No, this isn't, I do not want to do this, this isn't something that's going to serve me, as opposed to, oh, I need to do this, I need to push through, I need to overcome.
Yeah, and that's when you go, all right, come on, just get it done. Go do it. It's good for you.
Exactly, exactly. So, it's great because you've answered the, you know, the question that I, you know, about being efficient, and that, and that's something really, you know, I feel people will relate to. Most people want to be organized, prepared, because it does stop a lot of the stress in life if you can be organized and prepared. And you're that type of person in any case, that, you know, as you were saying, but you found you could do even more of it.
Yeah. And I would think about things that I wouldn't otherwise have thought of, but that comes from the training. And I can't really logically explain that because I just changed. That was, I don't know, like it, and that came with doing like the RM journey, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. And you know, the RM path for you, did you so you had these obstacles that came up, obviously. Now, what did you mentioned it briefly earlier, what can you just talk about a little bit about that, the other side, you know, when you overcome that obstacle, when you've grown, you know, what do you notice in your life? Do you have to keep going back and overcoming that same obstacle, or do you just shift it and go forward? You know, can you talk a little bit about that?
Some of the things that affected me, they still came up sometimes, but what I saw within myself was how quickly I overcome it. How quickly I saw it for what it was. I
Mm,
recognized it immediately. There wasn't confusion. And then I immediately took the steps to address it. And then I can let it go. In the
yeah,
past, I would first of all be confused, then secondly beat myself up for being confused and for having been upset. And that then stops me from doing anything. I feel I get stuck, right, at that point. But now I quickly see it for what it is, and then I overcome it. And the most important thing, I can let it go. And then I can then learn. And then every time you do this, it gets less and less. And then finally, it's just not an issue anymore. But that takes practice, and it takes discipline, discernment, time, and hard work. But that's all part of, the RM path. And these are the things that, and actually, it is part of self-care, right? Everybody thinks that self-care is like going to the spa. It's not. It's actually doing all the difficult things so that your life is better.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
that should go on a flyer. And I think we'll end the interview because we've just come out. That was very special. You're right. It is self-care.
You heard
It,
it here, guys and
exactly.
girls.
Hashtag let's go viral. I love it. Thank you so much, Grace, for sharing your
Always.
experience with us.
Thank you so much for chatting with me.
Yeah, we loved it. We loved it. And I'm sure you'll be back on chatting to us again at some point. So we'll look forward to that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And thanks everybody for joining.
Take care. Bye bye.